Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We are sitting here Friday afternoon, and it sounds like Penn State has their guy. That's going to be Matt Campbell. Now, here's my initial reaction. The process was an absolute disaster. And I don't think I'm breaking any news to the Penn State fans. I don't think I'm breaking any news to the college football fans that have followed this search. The result, not all that bad, man. Now, look, Matt Campbell was not my number one candidate for Penn State. There's a lot of really smart people around this sport that said from day one, Matt Campbell should have been the choice. And so you look at the result of this coaching search, the result's not all that bad. The process might have been really damn bad, but the result's not all that bad. And two things right off the top, the most two important question marks. Number one, can Matt Campbell maximize this program like he did at Iowa State? That's the storyline. Why did Jame Franklin get fired by Penn State? Because Penn State felt like this program had another gear that Jame Franklin very clearly could not reach. You go evaluate Matt Campbell's tenure at Iowa State, there's nobody that'll push back against this statement. He maximized what Iowa State was as a program. Can he go to State College and do the exact same thing? Because if he does, this could end up being a really damn good hire for Penn State. Now, I got an elevator pitch, like 3 to 4 minutes of why I think this could work for Penn State. I also want to address the concerns, the question marks as well. I want to start with this though. This might be a deep cut that only the Penn State fans get, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The last time Penn State poached a head coach from Iowa State, anybody got it? Goes by the name of Cael Sanderson. I happen to be a very big college wrestling fan. Cael Sanderson coming from Iowa State to Penn State, for those who don't know, might be the greatest collegiate coach of all time. Look it up. That's what the numbers are saying. If you're a Penn State fan, hey, that's the selling point here. Now, in all seriousness, I do want to get into the pros and cons of this hire to the Penn State fans and really the college football fans who have followed this process with the boys. I want to express some gratitude. It's been frustrating at times. It's been very fun at times. We've talked about a laundry list of candidates for Penn State. Cannot thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And to the Penn State fans who are tuning in, you thought the last 50 days were busy. The next 50 days are going to be even more busy because we all know Matt Campbell has his work cut out for him. Like, you're going to see Matt Campbell attack the transfer portal in a way that he never had the opportunity to at Iowa State. There's going to be some coaching staff changes. There's going to be a hell of a lot of personnel changes. We got a lot to talk about over the next 50 days. Buckle in. Appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's get into it. What makes Matt Campbell, in my eyes, really damn good head football coach? Hires an elite staff around him. It ain't all that complicated. Go look at the best head coaches in the sport, and I'll point to you some of the best coaching staffs that you see in the sport. I think the best example is Nick Saban. Look, this ain't me getting up here and saying Nick Saban wasn't a good football coach himself, because he very much was. What made him elite, what made him the best in history, go look at the staffs that he would routinely have during his time at Alabama. It was elite. I look at Matt Campbell and say, there are not many better coaching staffs in the entire country than what you find at Iowa State. And not only does he hire really good staff, does a really good job holding on to a lot of his staffers as well, which is not hard to do, not easy to do at Iowa State when you're having that kind of success. Big storyline here. What does the coaching staff look like at Penn State? Because I think that's part of the reason what makes Matt Campbell great. Number two, man, sneaky success with quarterbacks, right? And Matt Campbell's not a quarterback guy, but you look at Iowa State, like the last three quarterbacks they trotted out there, Brock Purdy, and then Hunter Deckers, who was a solid quarterback before he got dinged with some gambling stuff, and then Rocco Becht. I mean, like 2 out of the 3 of the last starting quarterbacks for Iowa State have been absolute dynamite, right? And that's been something that it's pretty routinely held Penn State back. They've had solid quarterback play. They haven't had great quarterback play. And that's something that separates these teams in the Big Ten. Now, you talk about getting over the hump, winning Big Ten championships, winning national championships, you got to get quarterback right, and you got to get the best out of your quarterbacks. I'm not sure you could say Jame Franklin did that. I think you could make the argument that certainly Matt Campbell does. Talent identification and development. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You do not have the resources to go out and get the best high school athletes in the country. Like, if you want to win at Iowa State, you have to be money with your evaluations. I mean, Matt Campbell was so good that he would get guys committed during their sophomore and junior years. They would ball out their senior years and they go somewhere else. You ain't going to have that problem at Penn State, right? You get on guys early, they're not going to be flipping as much as you had at Iowa State. Really good at finding the diamonds in the rough. You know, the guys that got overlooked by the big P4 programs, you get them into Iowa State and you get the best out of them. I mean, like player development, what, 15 NFL draft picks in the last 8 years? Pretty damn good, especially at a program like Iowa State. Here's the last thing, and this might be the best selling point. Maybe you should have led with this. Big game shots has a better, I believe, a better winning percentage at Iowa State in terms of top 25 games, top 25 opponents than Jame Franklin did. This is the reason, right? The reason here that Jame Franklin is no longer at Penn State is he could not get it done against the best of the best. Matt Campbell in big games has his teams play their best football more times than not. That certainly matters too. Now, those are the pros. Those are the reasons to buy in. What are some of the question marks? I think most notably, how high is the ceiling? Now, this is a pro and a con, right? Because we don't really know how high the ceiling is. That's not necessarily a bad thing because you evaluate the Jame Franklin tenure and say, kind of knew what that ceiling was. The ceiling was good. The ceiling was never great, right? You look at Matt Campbell, there's no track record that tells us he's a national championship caliber coach, but we don't really know. And so it's a fair question to ask, how high is the ceiling? We don't know. The ceiling could be pretty damn high. If Matt Campbell comes to Penn State and maximizes this program like he did at Iowa State, maybe the ceiling is a lot higher than we think. Here's the last thing, the future of Terry Smith. The one knock, and y'all know I didn't necessarily support the Terry Smith hire because it felt, I'll say it how it is. It felt like a pathetic backup plan, right? And that's not me calling Terry Smith pathetic, but it was very clear that you took some really big swings. And then to hire Terry Smith after weeks of taking big swings, it felt like that was very clearly not the direction that Penn State wanted to go. Does Terry Smith stay on staff? Because one of the big question marks here is, what's this roster going to look like? Well, what's the retention going to look like? If Matt Campbell can keep Terry Smith around, which I don't really know what the future looks like there, but if he does, that really helps Penn State start hot in 2026. Because if Terry Smith leaves, I think it's fair to say there's going to be a decent amount of attrition, which is maybe not the worst thing in the world. Maybe it frees up a lot of resources for Matt Campbell to go get the guys that he wants to build the team that he wants at Penn State. We'll see how it plays out, but I think the future of Terry Smith's a pretty dang big deal because it's very clear that the guys in that locker room, they wanted Terry Smith. And there was a lot of boosters that wanted Terry Smith too. Close it out there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We got a lot to talk about over the next 50 days. Appreciate you guys. Peace.